Thank you very much, Alex. I've written all this out. I don't normally write things out. I would normally do things off the cuff and ad lib, but I thought this was serious enough to write it all down. This is not so much a testament of myself, but a testament of how great God is. So, throughout this testament, I'm not speaking personally. I just want to acknowledge that even through some of the detail, that I was totally relaxed, even in the darkest times. And that in the darkest times, He carries you until you can walk again, like the footsteps in the sand. The marvellous mystery is that even before I gave my life to God, I knew that He was with me. I always thought that I was invincible, as we do when we're young. And I did many silly things. And one instance was I had a car accident when my head was 100 millimetres from the tarmac road, doing 50 kilometres an hour. The car was upside down and the roof was ripped open. My walk with God, even after I gave my life to Him, was very hard to say the least, as some people here will know. Because of the baggage I carried from my growing up days and my bad relationship with my parents, I couldn't see God through the people. I didn't go to church for many years. Fortunately for me, when I was 36, God brought me to Australia and I met Sue. And through her constant prayers, and if you pray for long enough, the prayers will be answered. Maybe not 100%, but answered. This is the first church that I have attended consistently. And so that brings me to last June. I twisted my leg at my son's place in Arcadia Vale. That started a real journey of emotional turmoil and anguish. I needed a knee replacement. It was told after 77 years that I had a misformed ankle and foot, and it would take some 2.5 years of operation and casts to rectify that before I could have the knee replacement. And then because of my neuropathy, they then weren't keen to do it because you get blisters and stuff under the cast. So it was back to the knee specialist. The knee specialist put the ball back in my court because he really didn't want to do it, because the ankle and the foot were driving the knee. And then after another hour of talking with him, I was fairly certain that God would help me through it, and I had a real peace about it, which obviously the specialist didn't. The operation went really well, covered by prayers from his church. Now, just to add another factor to the equation, unfortunately, I can't tolerate much painkillers. I was on a low dose, which meant that I could only stand a certain amount of rehabilitation, physiotherapy with the knee. One Friday afternoon, at the end of the day, the pain lady doctor decided to put me on morphine patches on my back so that the pain relief I got every hour. But this was all too strong, and they did not stop the tablets they were giving me, and I was taking, so 24 hours later I was very ill, and because it was a agency nurse, she didn't record that I was violently sick the night before. Some 12 hours after that, apparently Sue found me semi-unconscious over the walker. From then on, 2 nurses spent all night trying to resuscitate me. When the doctor came on duty next morning, he gave me reversal drugs, which I didn't respond to very well. By midday on Monday, with a high temperature, they decided to transfer me to emergency for Sam. But because it wasn't they thought it wasn't an emergency, the paramedics took about 3 hours to get there. And so, because it was a patient transfer, on arrival at the SAM about 6 o'clock on the Monday night, because of my high temperature, they gave me a CT scan of the chest and showed I'd got a blood clot in the lung. They said I was very fortunate, it lodged in the lung and not in the brain. Boy, it was God looking after me. And all the prayers are so vital for the clot to travel from my leg through the heart and into the lung was a miracle. By all the attention I was receiving from the specialists, it was very serious, but they couldn't understand why I was so calm and not anxious about it all. But that's God at work. I know God in a real way. I don't have to prove that to anyone. My walk with God might not fit the mould, but I know God is in my heart and I will serve him with the gifts he has given me. And then, which only a few people know here, that my father passed away at 101. He had several bouts of the RSV and then just found it all too much. And then I found out 10 days ago I needed a pacemaker. And it was because of all I had gone through, they found the problem. And so that was another blessing in disguise. I know now, even after 77 years of age, and that all I've been through, that he has saved me for better things. So I would really encourage everyone here never to give up, because God won't give up. And I'm a living testimony to that. That is basically my testimony in a nutshell. And just to finish off, it would be nice if you would indulge me in asking Sue to come and play How Great Thou Art. And I hope you'll just join me in singing that, because I just believe that I might not show it, but God really loves me, and he has a lot of better things for me in the future. Thank you.
free.